Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I thought I'd give everybody a small tour or a quick tour of the studio today. This is the little space I work out of. It's a nice bright little spot. It is just a bedroom that's been converted. A quick pan of the room here. Two windows. They're sort of southeast facing, so I do end up having to keep the blinds closed on a very sunny day. Some little bits of artwork here that I've put on some cork board. These are a lot of works that I did last year. Mainly family, little bits of plein airs, and a few still lifes. We've done some lighting up for me and some drop-down posts for putting my camera equipment on, which works very well. As you can see, they're a bit of an eyesore when you're looking through the camera, but very well needed. It puts the camera right next to me on the easel there. My little trolley for all my paints and brushes, and some of you may remember the large painting that I did in an earlier video. Yeah, that's pretty much my space. Nice little corner of the world. Very lovely little place to hang out in. Today we're going to be working on a reference picture that I've found in my own little selection. I've been working off of Pinterest pictures for a while now, only because I basically ran out of reference pictures. I've used so many of our little family snapshots that I just didn't have anything left to use. We recently moved back to where the family is, and I've been living in the moment so much that I just haven't taken enough pictures. So I've been kind of forced to scour the Pinterest, and so I've been doing some portraiture and some gestural pictures for a while now. Started off in the winter, did a few still lifes, but some of you may be wondering why I like to do these little sketchbook type of pictures, but it did sort of start around the beginning of 2019, of course, when we were all at home and looking for ways to keep ourselves occupied, and I ended up going through some family photos looking for references, and at that time I was trying out a new medium, gouache, because I didn't want to just work on large paintings, and really enjoyed the little family pictures. It was sort of a way of connecting with the family when I could send a few of them off to them and send them off to them just in little text message send, so they could see what I was working on. It just was a great way to sort of connect, and it sort of became a thing for me. I've just really enjoyed these, and they've ended up being passed along as little birthday presents and whatnot for special occasions. But yeah, trying to get my camera going now and take a few more pictures for references. I found when I started working small like this that they really seemed to make for some quicker improvements in my art. I could, because I think I was moving on so quickly from each picture, and I did so many of them. Generally these little pictures take about 2 to 4 hours to complete, so, and they feel less precious than the larger canvases do. So it's funny, but it gives you a different feeling when you're painting on something that doesn't feel so important, I guess. It allows you to just sort of do what you do and move on from it, and I find I work a little bit quicker, and I do a little less fussing around, but yeah, it's become a fun thing to do, and haven't really wanted to let go of these small pictures. They've become quite precious, actually. I've shoeboxed a lot of them, and they'll be sort of kept as little family memories for my family after I'm gone. Hopefully they'll enjoy looking at some of these pictures. But yeah, they're fun. I found even with plein-airing, I like to go out, and whether it be on a bicycle or we have motorbikes, and I'll pack up a little plein air set up in my saddlebag, and these little pictures are great because you can pop them off in about an hour and a half, and it's not an all-day event, and it sort of goes along with a little road trip or a bicycle trip, and it's quite entertaining. This picture is, of course, of one of my precious family members, which I enjoy, and yeah, a lot of fun. I've just sort of done a basic block in at this point. Just doing a little bit of detail on the face. It's quite small, so it stops you from being able to over detail, but I do have to use a small brush to get the proportions right. Yeah, when I first started doing these little paintings, I started doing them in gouache, and it was actually quite a fun medium to try out. I did miss the oil painting eventually, and I've sort of gone back to doing the paintings but using oil paint instead. And I just love the richness of oil paint. For me, it's always been a love of mine, the oil paints. But if I do want to pack up a simpler little plein air box, I'll oftentimes grab the gouache instead, just because I don't have to worry about the mess of it in the saddlebags and any kind of mediums and paint spills and things like that. This is about a 9 by 12 inch sketchbook that I'm working in today. It's had 2 coats of gesso on it before I started, so I'm done well ahead of time, so I wouldn't have to worry about it being dry or anything like that. And I find it just really makes the surface nice. There's a certain absorbency that you get when you work on paper that seems to help the oil paint dry a little bit quicker, and I've really come to enjoy that. I think in some ways I prefer painting on paper, whether it be the oil painting paper that you can buy like the Arches, or just a regular watercolor, good solid watercolor paper with a couple coats of gesso. But either one of those, and I just really like the feel of it. It's a fairly smooth surface to work on. And these can be applied to a masonite board later if you like, just like a canvas could. Yes, working small like this just really allows you to just feel quite free to just play and paint and learn and move on. It really doesn't seem to take quite as much of a commitment mentally to do these, and they're quite enjoyable. I think there is a certain bit of getting used to painting small, because you do end up going into slightly smaller brushes than if you're working on a larger canvas, but you do quickly get used to it, and it really is a great way to train yourself to not over detail, because it's just too small. It's hard to get too much there for information. I'm learning how to edit down a lot more too, going through all these family pictures, because as you can see from the reference in the corner there, that there's other family members in the background, and just things about. So it's been good for learning how to either abstract the background or just really simplify the details so that it doesn't become just too clustered with information. I guess it's the same if you're using reference pictures even for a larger painting, but I guess going through so many of them, and generally just little snapshots that you take with your iPhone and that aren't always the best composition or background. So it teaches you quite quickly how to edit out and keep some of the main shapes and try to keep the focal point on the image that you're trying to create. So going in now with a little bit more nuances in value and color, and hitting some of the smaller details. Really hoping to get out and do some plein airing here. It's been quite cold. I'm in Calgary, Alberta, and the spring seems to be coming a bit late this year. We moved back to be with family last June. Came from Kelowna, BC, which is a little bit warmer and milder environment, but we did actually live in Calgary before, so we kind of knew what to expect weather-wise. Lovely blue skies here, though. Even if the temperature's a bit cold, the skies are always blue. It's quite lovely. And it's just been so great to be back with family. I think everybody over the last few years has really valued the family. And it just feels so good to have the time with everybody again, and all those impromptu dinners and get-togethers, and that are very special. But yeah, I decided after working on these Pinterest pictures, not that they haven't been good, it's been a wonderful place to get reference pictures, but was just really craving doing some of my own family pictures again. So I guess I got to get that camera out and do some more picture taking. Get my own references. It's just somehow different if you take your own pictures for references. I guess because with an artist's eye, you do tend to frame things a little bit more in keeping with painting. So they're a little more ready to paint when you take the reference picture. Thanks for joining me for this. I'm going to leave you now with some music and let you watch the rest of the video. And yeah, thank you very much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.